Welcome to the Old-Fashioned Three. They've been around basketball from the Big Dipper to the Greek Freak, from Russell Celtics to Curry's Warriors, from Peach Baskets to Paolo Banchero. Here are Whitey Gleason, Phantom, and Jerry Reynolds.
Yes, that was that shot, all right.
I was under the assumption that I'm working with, really wise men here. But moments ago, welcome to the Old-Fashioned Three. And this guy, who's, of course, is like the NASCAR driver because he's got different logos for like 5-6 different teams. Jerry, I was surprised when Phantom just said, I've been married a long time. I didn't know I had to say, hey, that was a good dinner. I didn't know I had to say that every night.
30 years, Jerry. I put 30 years in. One night I forget. And I was like, what was wrong with dinner?
Well, I'm surprised you made it this long.
That's true. That's a given. I'm surprised I made it 1 decade, let alone 3. But
some poor newlywed has been married like 3 weeks or something. Like, but this guy, I would think he would know that.
Well, you would think he would know that. I mean, that's just kind of rule number one.
It's up there.
For better or for worse, it's actually for better.
Yeah.
And it's got to be delicious, too.
Yeah.
That was fine. No, that was fine. That was really good effort. No. Oh, no.
No, you can't just say,
oh, no.
Yeah, well, it filled me up.
That was fine.
Try that one.
You actually, after all these years, you're trying to get by with, it was fine.
That's fine.
But
Unless it was a ham and potatoes or something, it was fine.
That's a flagrant
every
one.
Night can't be.
That's a marriage flagrant one.
You can't drop a 50 burger every night. You're going to have some nights where you're 3 for 14. At anything.
Well, I've had a lot of those nights. I'll tell you that.
You just can't tell them they're 3 for 14.
You cannot.
And keep the box score away from them too, because they'll see that.
It's kind of like coaching. I mean, you can't. You always got to pump the guys up. Oh yeah, hang in there. You'll get it going. As opposed to, boy, you're terrible.
You're fine. I guess you're okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
How was that? You were fine. Yeah, you were fine out there.
Okay, yeah. You did okay.
You lost 128 to 96, but you were fine.
You sure tried hard.
Yeah.
You brought your lunch pail.
Speaking of basketball, why is it now that it seems to be a thing where players are grabbing other people's feet? We know that we saw Monk do it to Draymond, and we saw Sabonis do it to Draymond.
Very famously.
And then last game, Moses Moody tried it with Anthony Davis. And is that new? Or
it's better than going for the junk, which is what they've done on many occasions lately. So we're just moving south a little bit. Saying, we can't hit people in the junk. Let's get some feet. Well, everybody's stepping. We talked about it a couple episodes ago. Everybody's stepping over and standing over people now, it seems like.
Well, okay,
and
that's
it's easy.
Of it.
It's easy access.
The thing is, it seems to me that players that are grabbing people by the feet, they think no one's going to see this. And it's like we have cameras.
Yeah, cameras everywhere.
There are people watching around the country. Really, around the country.
Yeah.
Record numbers, I guess. In some series. So you're going to get caught out.
Yeah.
So you don't like grabbing the feet then?
Well, I just think because they think, watch this. They think they're being so sly.
But it always seems to escalate into something else too, because the guy whose foot gets grabbed, he's got to do something, and then somebody else has to do something.
Maybe.
It never ends with just that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but we've got the Lakers and the Warriors resuming tonight, and we had one pretty good game there, a good finish game one. The last two games, Jerry, have been. I know everyone's glued to this series, but the games haven't been very good, and I don't know about you. I have no idea what to expect.
No, I don't. I mean, because it lets you start with Anthony Davis. I mean, how do the guy's terrific, not very good, terrific. Is there?
You know what AD stands for, right? Alternate days. That's what.
I didn't know that.
I didn't. You didn't know that?
You learned something
Actually, it seems pretty accurate.
Really
I mean, that was fine. That was good.
Yeah, and I mean, when he's playing at his best, they are tough to beat.
It's almost literally good game, bad game, good game, bad game. In the playoffs this year, it's literally been game to game.
And he's the guy that the Warriors really can't match up with. I mean, obviously LeBron you can't either, but still, I mean, I think Anthony Davis is the guy. If he's playing at his best, I think the Lakers will win, but I wouldn't count on that. You
picked the Lakers, right?
Yeah, you always get to a series whenever it's 2-2. The wise people say, "Well, whoever wins Game 5 is going to win the series," because that makes numerical sense. I think in this series, I thought Game 3 was that game. I really thought that the Warriors take Game 3 and go ahead and get home court back, that it's going to go their way. But now that the Lakers have this game and D'Angelo Russell. Talk about up and down. I mean, come on. He comes out there and, they always talk about role. He's not really a role player, but role players and occasional stars feel better at home. And, man, he got that great start, and it just opened it up for everybody else. And so I think they're going to go out, and I think Anthony, this is really going to limb. I think he's going to play good 2 games in a row.
Well, he can make shots. I mean, that's the thing about him. I always said the thing that I always with D'Angelo is that can he get shots? I mean, I think he's very guardable. But
he's not especially quick, is he?
And so
didn't he have a huge game when he was with the Nets at against the Kings?
Yeah, just simply won the game by himself.
47.
Kings had a big lead going into the fourth, and I don't know how many 20 or something he had in the fourth.
Yeah.
And they won the game, and but he's good. He's really good. But like you say, I mean, I think he's very guardable for the most part. But if you're going to kind of let him flow around there, he's not that quick, he's not that strong, and kind of get to his spots.
Mm-hmm.
He's clever.
Yeah.
I always say a little bit like I always used to think Mike Bibby was more clever than anything else. I mean, he wasn't fast, he wasn't real quick, but he was really clever with the ball and could get it, knew what shots he could hit, where he needed to get to.
Yeah.
And I think D'Angelo's a little bit like that, and certainly the Warriors are letting him do that. So
yeah, he's not a star, but he's right below that.
Well, I know what you mean. He's more than a role player.
He
on
has
this
the
team
capacity
right now.
to be like, remember Sleepy Floyd back in the day. All of a sudden he just hang one on you.
Yeah.
And Russell has that ability, and there's a lot of guys in the league that have that. They're not stars, but they're not just grunts. They are out there. They have the potential, and especially if he gets off. What did he have? 4 in the first quarter or 5 in the first half, 3-pointers, and that galvanized the entire team.
Well, there are so many guys like that, as you said, that aren't stars but are capable of putting star numbers up. On
a one-night only basis,
10 or 15 times a year out of 80, and they get a game going, and they. Mm-hmm. That's how you win. I mean, it's like a Terrence Davis for the Kings won a game, with was 32 against the Nets or something. Had a couple of games like that, but you can't. I mean, Terrence isn't as good as D'Angelo, but anyway, yeah.
Well, yeah, I know exactly what you mean because I had that same conversation about D'Angelo Russell. He's one of the role players. I think he's a little more than that. They want him to be more than that. And the end of game 1, the Lakers had that huge lead over the Warriors, and then the Warriors played zone, and the Lakers were one of those teams like, what is that? We don't know what to do. And then when they had to end their long scoring drought, they brought him back in, and he actually stabilized him, which is something you don't normally rely on one of your others to do. So did you hear what he said to Sam Amick, what he told Sam Amick? He said, I'm a bird and I need to fly, D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, so I wish you could have stopped. Maybe not done
that.
We were giving you your flowers or whatever it's called, but I don't think you need to.
On this role on this team, he said, I'm a bird, I need to fly. So
what does that? What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm a peacock captain. I don't know. It just means
I'm a bird, I need to fly.
It means he needs to have his chance to be him. I don't know.
That's
what
he
said. Yeah. I guess he feels like the Lakers are doing that.
Okay, well,
letting him fly.
They have people that need to fly before he flies. He has to stay on the ground and let these guys take off, and then we'll let you take off later.
There's bigger birds that need
they need a more area to get off on. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So D'Angelo, we'll let you fly after these big birds get spread out.
Yeah. When he was on Minnesota, he was like a big bird. He was like one of the turkeys in your yard, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. He's no longer on Minnesota. Yeah, exactly.
And, so anyway, I don't know where we're going with this, but
you're supposed to admit that, Jerry. Come on, be a pro. This is where we meant to go the whole time. You know that. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he's played really well for them.
He has.
And then LeBron, a key to the series where I think it's because he's hurt. I don't know, but he's not LeBron. He's not really pushing it. I don't think he has that gear.
But he made a couple amazing defensive plays. Running down guys. I mean, it's like, wow, that was a blowback to the past, but I think offensively, and I think it's smart for them, is they've got enough players now to where LeBron can play off the ball, and then if he's needed, I think you see in the fourth quarter, then we start seeing LeBron trying to be LeBron again, where he's controls the ball and everything.
If those other guys were doing, like we talked about, if Russell and maybe 1 or 2 other guys was doing something, he's freed up.
Yeah.
And then I think he did a couple in the second half. He got LeBron downhill again. Where he's still really tough to stop in that kind of transition because he's 6'8" and 260 pounds, and so he was able to do that. But
check his plus minus on there.
Geez.
That's
from let's see.
That's from
James,
game 2.
Oh, geez. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Game 2, they lost by 27. And he was minus 27. So if he doesn't play, it's a tie game.
Look at Wiggins. Wiggins had
Wiggins. Oh my God, he dominated. So he was 62 points higher than LeBron.
Yeah, he was plus
35, Jer. Wow.
Well, that's proof positive right there.
Yeah, poor Kuminga, though, minus 5, and his team won by 27.
Phantom, to your point about how you thought Game 3 was so pivotal, and maybe it will be, but the Warriors, if they win this game, they get home court back.
Oh, sure,
so
absolutely.
Isn't this also just as pivotal, perhaps, as...
Yes, but I think the pivotality was more for the Lakers because if they didn't win Game 3, then I think the Warriors take the 3-1 lead and going back to San Francisco. I didn't see a lot from the Warriors that led me to believe that they're going to go ahead and win Game 4. I mean, obviously they can. There's Steph Curry and there's Klay Thompson. Obviously they can, but I didn't see a lot to suggest that, this team's going to bounce. I mean, we've had 2 blowouts in a row. And anything can happen. But pivotality is, I think it's a police song.
I like it. I think it's you can kind of slide it in there every now and then.
Yeah. We make it the title of this episode, Pivotality.
Pivotality.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And he just kept going like they're not even going to notice this.
No,
Watch this.
I liked it. I liked the construction the way it put it, and the usage was right.
Yeah, well, I was kind of impressed with you. I thought, geez, what a word to slide in there.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Yes, perfectly clarified what I thought. Yes, what makes no sense.
How much of this unpredictability, game to game? I have no idea what's going to happen game to game. How much of that do you think is because right now, as we discussed in the car show, there are no really great teams right now?
Yeah, I think that's it. We've talked about it all year.
Yeah.
There is not a single team you say, boy, that's a great team. That's a championship team. What you see is that's a nice team. They got 2 really good guys, or they're pretty good on defense, or they've got a great transition game. But I mean, I've always said in the West, it's like when it started, it's like, well, if you're the Kings, not saying you could win it all, but who would scare you?
Yeah.
Well, nobody. And if you're the Warriors, why should you be scared of it? Or Denver or Phoenix? It's just.
Is Phoenix putting it together finally? I know we were all very high on Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like right after the deadline.
Well, Jerry, you've been talking about the Nuggets all season long, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't get one in Phoenix. I thought they'd go because they played so well the first 2 games, and if there is a team that is constructed the way we think is going to be a great team, I thought it was Phoenix or Denver all the time. And so obviously with Booker and Durant, you're not going to say, well, I know we're going to go take 2, but I thought they would grab 1 in Phoenix, and I give the Suns a lot of credit for bouncing back.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Suns are starting to look more like we thought they would. But I mean, it's kind of fragile in a sense that Booker and Durant have to be great. Now, of course, they can be great. I mean, obviously they can be great. I don't know that Booker can be as great as he's been. I mean, you just can't shoot 70-80% with tough shots.
Yeah, 6'4" guy shooting 8%.
I mean, it's to me, he's telling somebody today. I said, I think I'm watching a small Kobe.
Mm-hmm. Only a more efficient one.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and actually a better pure shooter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're obviously they could win it. I mean, I kind of think Denver's the best constructed team, and I'm really pulling for him because I'd like to see Mike Malone win, because I'm concerned that if he doesn't, that he'll get blamed.
Yeah.
You know how they do.
Then he'll be available in the open market. Let me ask you, because you're the comp guy, and I know this is sacrilege, but watching the way Booker is playing now and the position he plays, is it Jerry West for the 2020s? I mean, is it that kind of thing? I mean,
that's a great analogy. Where West was so great, and that a couple of playoff series where he'd average. I mean, most fans wouldn't remember, but I do. But 40 points a game, and he ran the offense.
That's something I didn't realize.
Yeah, he didn't. He wasn't.
He
wasn't that level player when he came to the league. And I remember him telling me that. Said when I came to the league, I wasn't even close to Oscar Roberts. He said by the time we got 7 or 8 years, I felt I was. Because Oscar could control a game day one.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry was a great scorer and player day one, but he wasn't. A guy could run the offense for you, get 40. And all that, but I think that's a pretty what we're seeing. But it's a good analogy because Booker is really controlling he's taking Chris Paul's place and truthfully doing way better.
But could that be a situation where in short term they can go ahead and compensate for no Chris Paul because they can do the Booker? But we're talking every other day, and I know he's a young guy.
And they're not very deep either.
Yeah, and they traded away. Obviously, they traded away what they need to make a long run to get Durant. So
as long as Landry Shamet makes big shots.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know that you can. I know you're a long time guy. I don't know if you can count on that.
I don't believe you can.
I know. Okay, well, I didn't know. I mean,
I think he's a pretty good player, but it just goes back to your earlier point. He's a good player, not a star, but he's a good player, but is capable of having more than good games. And you saw one, and if I were a betting man, I wouldn't bet on that again.
But that's what Phoenix needs.
But
because they have the two superstars, but they need something else.
Yeah, they need
and
a lot
these guys
more.
Got to step up.
They need a lot more from Ayton. There's no doubt about that.
And you get it sometimes. Again, one of those guys like whoop 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 whoop.
Wait a minute, you're describing half this is the league now. It seems to be up and down, except for maybe a Steph Curry and Durant guys. It just seems like it's an up and down league.
If you were the commissioner, which I don't think you are.
No, but I would let Jerry do it.
Yeah. How would you have handled this Jokic? Ishbia thing, and Jerry informed me, and you may already know that right before we started, the league said they'll fine Jokic, no suspension.
Yeah, 25,000, I think. For it. But I think, I didn't see it live. I saw a couple of replays. I think Jokic did a couple of things that I don't like, and I don't put any blame on him. First of all, the guy getting the ball in the stands and keeping hold of it. Okay, that was the owner, so that's $50,000 right there. I mean, you don't hold on to the ball. And we've talked about it a million times that fans are too close to the court. You can't have a player go into the stands, even if he's getting a basketball. He can't do that.
But how did he go into the stands, or did he just
He went in and he reached in like that to the stands, and then the guy, I think he's put his hand, and then he shoved a guy like that. You can't do that either.
Well, that was the owner that he gave.
Yeah, I know. You can't do that. I mean, it's Jokic where you don't have any priors or anything, so we're not saying he's he shouldn't be suspended or anything. But that's two things you got to tell your players you can't do. You can't go into the stands in any way, and you can't shove, even if,
So what do you do about it? Just the fine?
I would just do for Jokic. I would do the fine. I probably would have done more than 25.
Don't you think if Stern was still the commissioner, there's a very good chance he would have said the rules are the rules. He went into the seats. He's suspended.
I'd almost like, did he just say it? I just heard him say it.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance. I'm glad he didn't know. I really
too.
think that was a mistake. Would have been a mistake. It's not necessary, and I think the credit to the new Suns owner. He's come out publicly and said, I don't think he should be suspended. I don't think,
Yeah, but you're the guy who grabbed the ball, right?
Well, no.
So,
but I'm just saying,
speak like this. Come on.
But wait a minute. But I mean, it's the Suns guy.
Yeah.
I mean, would you, if you were the owner of the Suns, like to have him suspended and not?
But
if you're trying to beat him.
What if you were down 3-1 in the series?
What if that was the plan all along? Okay, knock the ball to me, and I'm going to grab it.
No, but I thought it showed a little understanding of the circumstance that he shouldn't have been involved in either.
Right.
So, I mean,
I didn't see any fine or anything.
No harm,
for the
no
owner.
foul.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
I'll tell you what, if Jokic ever tries out with Vivek, look out. Vivek's not going to flop. Vivek's going to give him the business.
What? Chest him right
the
there.
business?
Yes, he can give him the business.
Okay, I didn't
but
see
I don't
that.
think Vivek could ever get mixed up.
No, obviously
I don't
not.
think
But 25,000. That that sends a people have different. But I thought that why would you do anything more than that? I mean, you're right. I mean, it's like you could, and I know David Stern probably
would have.
would have.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad he didn't.
Glad
he didn't.
I am too, and I think overall it was kind of an embarrassment to the league, all things considered.
Agreed.
And so we're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
We just move on, and then we don't want to draw any
hope,
more attention.
But lesson learned now, because we got to make sure, again, with the fans encroaching on the court the way they are now, it's going to happen again.
And if you're an owner, just let the ball go.
Yeah, that's the rule. There you go. The ball comes to you, give it back. Just give it back to him. Just like you're at the AAU game. Just give it back to him.
Yeah, he played at Michigan State a little.
He's a walk-on.
On a team.
Yeah.
He looked like he was trying to get the jump ball.
Yeah, I was going to say he's trying to. So probably everything handled as well as it could have been.
And then the other game yesterday, my goodness, James Harden with the shot to force overtime, and then the game winner. Do we have to maybe rewrite the postseason legacy of James Harden the way he's played in this series?
Well, I mean, the up and down guy, right? He was great in 1 and 4. He was terrible in 2 and 3.
Don't we have to wait till?
Don't we have to wait till 7?
I think we have to wait till it's all over to rewrite it.
I think the Celtics may want to rewrite things because I think they kind of botched that one.
I kind of think they did too. But I mean, Harden's been more valuable than Embiid in this series.
Yeah.
And to Whitey's excellent point, I mean, I think if in fact Harden leads them to the championship, of course you rewrite it.
I think Whitey's point would be
having two terrific games in the second round. No, Whitey, that doesn't do it.
Well, it puts him,
but it helped. It's more than we thought he would have.
Closer to that, because the first game was, of course, a road game without Embiid.
Yeah,
and then the second game yesterday, not only did he have 42 points, whatever it was, I believe it was 42, but he also hit the 2 absolute clutch shots. And then, the Celtics, I'm with you. I don't know if it's their coach, Joe Fiduzel, if it's on him, or just the fact that they have trouble executing over the last couple of years in the postseason. But I'm with you guys. Watching that game, I just felt like, man, Boston really should have won that game.
Yeah,
they kicked away a handful of opportunities.
Well, I mean, every time when you're down at the end of the game, you always want to go for the smart 3 because that's the thing that's going to help you. But I thought the first time at the end of regulation when he missed the 3, I really thought Tatum shouldn't have passed it to him. I thought Tatum should have gone to. He was going to the rack already. He was being defended. But I want you going to the basket strong. You're going to get. You can't say it these days, but you're going to get the call, and if not, he's right there at the basket and did some contorted move and threw it back to Marcus Smart. I just think, and if I'm a Celtics fan, I want Tatum with the ball going. I do think that he waits way too long to get things going.
Everybody does now.
Oh, that's terrible.
But
we talked about that for years.
Let me jump in because I want to get my side before we hear you, and you make the decision. To me, I understand everything you're saying. I felt like, wow, they got a wide open shot from Smart. The offense worked. They got a great shot. It didn't go in. So to me, I don't feel like, Tatum should take that. I feel like I got a good shot. That's all I can get. So you've been in these situations.
Well, I don't think you can second guess that legitimately because it's a quality shot to win. So. Yeah,
and that's all you're trying to get, right?
That's all you're trying to get now.
Yeah. However you get it.
Having said, I think if I had a criticism of the Celtics overall, it'd be they need to get to the basket more, draw more fouls. I think they're playing too much they're trying to play like the Warriors. Well, if you play like the Warriors, like the Warriors bitching about not getting any free throws, well, why would they foul you?
Yeah,
because you're going up for a layup, you're going to pass it out anyway. They don't have to defend you.
Yeah, I mean, as opposed to in the Lakers, I mean, during the regular season, one team drew the most fouls, the other drew the least. Well, you're seeing the same thing play out. But I think with both Tatum and Brown, they put so much pressure on the defense. They could really get the Sixers in more trouble. I mean, not saying they shouldn't shoot a lot of threes, but I mean, my God, go attack the basket.
And Tatum wasn't involved in either one. Tatum was, but Brown wasn't involved.
He wasn't even on the floor as far as I can say. It was all Marcus Smart.
And it's hard to tell because he's got that mask on.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Tell. Is he in there? No. That should make him easier to get open, though. His teammates should know where he is. But I mean,
I agree.
It was a wide open shot to Marcus Smart, but when he took, I had no confidence in that. Well, sometimes you look at a shot, you just no, that's not going in.
I mean, there's several guys you'd rather see shoot that shot.
On that
rather
team,
see Al Horford shoot that shot.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Barnes shot at the end of Game 4 against the Warriors, right?
I mean, it's a good shot. Yeah, but there's about 3 guys you'd rather see shoot it.
I
mean, that's really But, I mean, you can't dictate that. I always say, the old saying, take what the defense gives you. Well, yeah, sometimes they're not going to give you what you want.
Right.
They know who you want to be open.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember years ago, Phantom, I remember we had Jerry on our show because Quincy Doobie took a last second shot.
Yeah.
And fans were like, why would you give it to Quincy Doobie? And we had Jerry on. It's like, I don't think that was really the plan. Sometimes the defense has a little something to do with it.
Working around to Doobie.
Well, I remember that well because Reggie Theus was the coach then. And Reggie, of course, Reggie would say what he thought.
He did.
He said, I don't know why you had him in there, but
you had him in there.
That was good, which I think
is a great point.
I don't know why you did either, but he was.
How do you respond to that when the coach says, I don't know why he was in there?
And, well, I did really kind of know because Quincy had a little run. He'd made a few baskets.
He was one of our guys.
One of those guys that, he's got something going.
Yeah.
Kind of a Terrence Davis kind of thing. He's got something going. So, So he rode that horse till he
and
dropped in the sand.
We desperately, as Kings fans, wanted Quincy Douby to be that guy. We wanted him to get on that run. We knew he could do it. He's a big scorer in college. We know he's going to do it at this level. It really didn't
quite pan out for him. Yeah.
Why was he out there and he's the coach? I love that. He shouldn't have been out there. Well, put him out there.
Well, yeah.
And then he was on a run, Jerry. You're right.
No, I mean, no, it's easy to get fooled. I mean, I think every coach in the history of mankind has done that same thing. Rode the wrong horse.
Yeah.
Boy, we're getting a lot out of this guy. And then pretty soon it's like, oh, now I remember why we didn't play much.
Why he rarely plays.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with the barn shot though, it's like it didn't seem like. You knew they're going to double team Fox in that situation, and it didn't seem like we were really ready for it because he lost control of the ball and then barely got it over the Barnes.
At
that time that was a good shot because I didn't.
It's
think
all
we were
you had. 1.9 seconds he caught the ball. It wasn't like Harrison.
No,
I thought Fox really kind of lost.
Yeah,
got
exactly.
discombobulated there and took too much time. And so, actually, they were very fortunate to get anything.
For the way that they handled the last seconds, that was a pretty good shot
I think
to get.
Coach Brown said after the game that Harrison set that screen on his own. So it's almost like Harrison Barnes kind of orchestrated that, figuring they're going to trap him and I'm going to get the shot.
He set the screen and then he kind of backed up a little bit. Yeah.
Something you said earlier actually was kind of interesting.
Kind of about as good as
well,
it gets.
Am I in one of those metaverses thing where it's not the real universe?
When you said that Tatum waits too long sometimes, I think guys throughout the league, they all wait a lot longer than I think they used to before attacking. Like the clock will run down. It used to be like 8 or 7, you got to go. And now it's like maybe 5 seconds before they attack. I think it's because they're so afraid of leaving time, a half a second or 0.8 of a second so somebody can make a 3. It seems to me like the practice on that has changed.
Oh, I'm sure it has. I mean, I really agree with you on that because I think everybody's so scared of leaving more than a second or two on the clock because they call timeout, move it to half court. Everybody's got to play with 2 seconds left.
Yeah, and you got to try to contest without fouling.
But wasn't the thought back in the day, I'm going to leave a little more time because our team will be able to rebound and miss that? That was used to be.
Well, if you're behind, you should.
Or if we're tied. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah,
but I'm just thinking if I'm, I got the last shot, I want to give a chance for my team to go ahead and grab a rebound and put it back in. Yeah. Now I see what you're saying as far as if they foul with 0.8 seconds to go and they get free throws on the other end, sure. But I mean I thought that was the outlook.
I agree with you. I mean, if in fact you are behind, it's like okay,
I see. Okay,
you want to have a chance for a second opportunity, an offensive rebound or something. But if it's a tie game, you don't want to. You prefer not to leave anything.
A fraction.
It's like the football where they don't score a touchdown here. We don't want to give them the ball back.
But the toughest part is it's like, all that makes sense, except there's a 24-second clock there. And
it was
doesn't mean you can get it. Okay, we'll turn down this shot with 16 seconds, so we'll wait till 3 and we'll get a good one.
I don't know if that's worse than the whole going for 2 for 1 by shooting a 30-footer.
Yeah,
all right, I got the first shot out there. We're going to do 2 for 1 now.
2 for 1. Like, Jordan Poole come down and, blast one up from,
28.
You'll get 2 for You'll get 2.
Mathematically,
you get 2 bad ones for 1 good one? Is that the play?
I still would rather, if I had my druthers, depending on the particulars, I still would rather run something at the end of the game than go 1-4 flat.
Oh, absolutely, because it's easier to get double team the one. We've said that, from day one.
I hate that. So
absolutely.
Easy, especially you'd be 1-4. Okay, your guy's out there. He's
looking good,
and then pretty soon, late in the clock, down the second defender comes.
Yeah,
now you're all screwed up.
Yes,
you've used all your clock, and now you. And I mean, it's just so easy to defend. As opposed to like you say, okay, with 5 seconds now we run a play.
Even if you're running a play, they take it down too long. But yesterday, and he had a tremendous game. But Harden did that thing where he's killing time by going between his legs and dribbled it off his own leg. I was like, finally, that happens to somebody because it happens all the time. It seems like. But even when they're running a set play, it seems like they wait too long, and maybe it's the whole
agree.
thing. And they don't give it time.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
But I mean, a good structured play. I mean, you really should say, all right, we're going to get into it at 7 seconds or 6.
Well, you should
whatever.
know.
But you should know. And okay, this is option 1. Okay, this is 2. This is. We've got 1, 2, 3, just like your quarterback's looking for receivers, and you're going to have to make that decision. Okay, this is what we want. If it's not there, this will be.
Yeah.
And if that's not there, then this is the last gasp here.
And then your guy Fasuli, I mean, he had 2 timeouts, right? And if you have a
Faduzal.
Faduzal, you have 2 timeouts you can work with. Maybe if you really want to let your team know when you want them to go do that, you stop the game, you bring them over, and you say, this is what I want you to do, and I want you to do it at this time. But it's like, no, I'm going to leave it in the hands of my superstar, that's fine, but that ends up in the hand of not your superstar.
Let me in, and we'll let the guy who knows what he's talking about weigh in.
Good.
I would let them go because I don't want to call timeout unless I have something really specific in mind, because I think I can get something if the defense is in any state of disarray. I like my chances of getting an open shot, which is all I'm trying to get, whether I call timeout or not. I would tend towards not calling timeout.
I agree with you. To me, that's something that you should have a structured play in mind and practiced it. The John Wooden theory. Okay, this is what we're going to do with 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I agree, Jared, but it doesn't look like they do.
Well, no, I'm not saying they do.
I totally
I'm saying
agree.
They got a good shot. You didn't like it, but they got a good shot.
But again, I think a timeout is so difficult because it really gets the other team a chance to set their defense. And I think that can be because you got to even get the ball in bounds. That's no guarantee.
Not these days. You're right. No, I understand that. It's just in that situation. You guys loved the shot they ended up with. I did not love the Marcus Smart 3. That's a good shot. What is he, a 35% shooter maybe? And I wanted Tatum to go to the basket, as you said, but I wanted him to go to the basket, and now they've got Klay Thompson syndrome. Like we said, you go to the basket, but really in the back of your mind, I wonder if somebody's open for a 3.
Okay, but either way, even if Tatum had gone to the basket, you still got that. He decided not to do that without calling the timeout.
No, that's anyway. Okay. I don't mind it if that's what I'm saying. You should do that.
Oh, okay. Well, case closed.
Hold on. You got it. Okay. Yeah. All right. You were right.
Yeah.
They both failed, but you were the right reason why they failed. Yeah. Wow.
Keegan Murray, all rookie team, first team. How good can this guy be?
He could be as good as Peja.
Wow, really? Mm-hmm. Wow, that really surprises me.
Well, people forget this, and I'm going to remind them. Peja didn't start his first year in the league,
Corliss Williamson started
yes,
ahead
he
of him,
did.
right?
Yeah, on that 27 and 24 team. That was really. You could see that he was going to be really good. Well, to me, you could see this guy's going to be really good. Now, I won't say he's going to be as good as Peja. I don't know, but he belongs in that discussion. I think he belongs in when you look at that size player, Peja, great shooter, Ricky Berry, what little we saw him. I think that certainly, this guy's a 40% 3-point shooter now. He's athletic. He got better defensively. He got better rebounder.
So he can be a star.
He could be a star.
Wow.
So why not?
Yeah.
I hesitate to say anything because I know I'm going to get a double teamed here. But do you see that stardom or whatever he becomes with him sliding back to the 3 as we've talked about before?
Absolutely.
Do you think that's his natural position, not where he is right now?
The sooner you get him there, the better off you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like with Page. The sooner you got him in the starting lineup, you had to trade an awfully good player to create a space for him. But they, the thought was this guy can be. You know he's going to be a 3-time All-Star, but you knew he's going to be really good, and so you got to create the spot for him. And I think exactly the same thing for Keegan. I really think you got to move him to 3. Harrison, a really good player. You like keep him, but he probably needs to be your backup 3 and 4 going forward. And then you need to find probably a little more athletic.
We talked about getting us a 4 a couple times.
Yes. Well, Naz Reid.
Yes, I think we know your thoughts on the matter. Yes.
Maybe this is
now,
the answer.
I'd take Bobby Portis or Brook Lopez. But they're all. It's all different. You'd have the best chance of getting.
Are you interested in a 6'9" shooter who's a good passer who you already have the rights to?
Interested, but he's. I don't think he's the answer.
Sasha Vezenkov.
He's probably more of a small forward than he is.
He's actually, you're right. I looked up some things about him. He's listed as a small forward and shooting guard, even though he's 6'9".
Good shooter.
Yeah.
And that'd be a guy you should probably, if you can, bring him over. Does he Does he ring the bell? I don't. I mean, I think he's a guy could help you a little bit.
I'm worried that he won't be able to guard anybody.
That doesn't matter.
It does.
Defense.
It does.
Defense. Shmee does not listen to my philosophy.
Yeah.
Come on, defense, Shmee-fence. Bring him
Where did
over.
that get you, though? That's
the second
thing.
round, 7th game. Almost the second round. 7th game of the first round.
Second round.
Well, I was thinking maybe
I
we.
just think it.
I was going to replay that game.
What little I know of it, which isn't a great, but I just would be surprised if he's better than Trey Lyles. I mean, really. I mean, it's like, okay, is he better? Okay, if he is, how much? It couldn't be much.
Mm-hmm. He could be like a Bojan Bogdanovic, maybe. I mean, isn't that kind of?
He's a bigger version, probably. Yeah, I guess he could. I mean,
it's a rough comp. I'm not the comp guy. You guys are.
Yeah,
I'm not the gum guy. He's the gum guy.
Yeah. But the defense, I know. Defense,
well, you don't know until you get him here. And,
yeah.
And I think could he help? Of course he could help. I mean, it's possible. I mean, to me,
you can always use shooting, right? Everybody.
You
can
always use shooting, but to me, it's like, is he going to solve one of your problems? In my mind, no. You know, you've got to get another physical, big player that can play 4 and 5, spread the floor to help Sabonis, protect the basket, knock somebody on their butt now and then.
Now, is it possible, Jer? I have no idea. You having been a GM, is this somebody, if he's playing well in the Euro League, is he an asset that I might be able to move before the draft or somehow move to help me get in position?
Yeah, that's a great point, and I think that he does have value. I think people in the league know who he is. They know he's a player, and so.
Because I'm with you, it kind of doesn't seem like a great fit for what I am
I mean,
right now.
so that I always said, I mean, to me, this team is close to being awfully good, you know, in a West that's balanced. So if you could just take another step, you know, and like I say, probably the first round pick is not going to help you at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to get better next year. So to me, anything you can picks, players, future players, anything like that to get what you need, you better do it.
What do you got, Phantom, on Sasha Vezenkov?
I'm not real familiar.
His real
with
name's Alexander, I guess. All these guys
yeah,
are.
I wish you wouldn't do that.
No, they all go by Sasha.
Well, I mean, I am a little bit disappointed. I thought he might be able, when you described him as a 6'9" shooter who could spread the floor, I thought we might be able to slot him in that Trey Lyles spot, but it doesn't sound like we can. And Trey Lyles, so do we need a Trey Lyles 2.0 to take that spot? Because Trey probably isn't the guy going forward at the 4 spot. So that's the prototype, but we need to kind of improve on that prototype. That's what we need in there.
I think so. I mean with Trey, I think, you know, he's a good reserve player. I think that's what he is, and can spread the floor and play a little bit in a couple spots. And wouldn't mind seeing him play a little more small forward, actually.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You know, a little backup in that range. But what they need, I mean, to me, is they need a 6'9" or 10 guy that is physical enough to play backup center. Certainly can play the 4, can spread the floor. He's got to be a 3-point shooter.
Okay.
Well, this guy's 6'9" and
because,
can
I mean,
shoot,
you're
but the
trying
rest
to
of it,
get
some of it's there. We've got some of it with Sasha.
Yeah.
But I mean,
you
to me, it's like, well, how are you going to get better? Well, you got to get somebody something you don't have that fits with your best players, and that's Fox and Sabonis.
Yeah.
Don't I need wings who are two-way wings who can help me at both ends?
Yeah.
That's what I think they really need.
Yeah, and you certainly,
but isn't that a Murray?
Well, I think Keegan Murray will be a better defender at 3 than at 4. Now, Sabonis is what he is. He's not a real good defender. But I think if you'd get the more powerful guy, you'd have a chance maybe to use him more protecting the rim. Mm-hmm. Sabonis, I think, is quite good out on the perimeter against normal 4s.
Have you gotten in touch with Naz Reid's agent?
I haven't yet. I may have to.
Jerry Reynolds on the phone. Yeah.
I don't work.
Naz,
I don't work for the Kings, but I'm going to try to make you an offer.
Well, see, I mean, you identify what they need, but that's not the easiest thing to get.
No.
So
well,
then we got to do a little maneuvering here.
It's like
maybe you need to be called into action again.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like if it's easy to get what you need, then the Kings would have Durant now.
If it's easy to get what you need, then you'd always have what you want.
Yes, exactly.
There you go. There you go.
That's got to be a country song.
I think it is, or I think it will be.
It could
I'll
be.
call my friend Tom Neely and he'll make it one.
my guy last year was Bobby Portis, and I think it would have worked out great. But I understood why Milwaukee did what they did because, he could play with Giannis as a 4 or behind Giannis as a 5 when he's hurt, and with Brook Lopez. And of course, Brook is an ideal guy because he's a defensive center.
I could probably get you Robin. You want Robin Lopez?
Yeah. I can get you Mario.
Get you Mario Lopez. Robin. He'd have to kind of cut his hair a little bit.
Okay, all right. Well,
I mean, we
do what we can do.
I don't know how Robin would be with Slamson. That'd be a real concern.
Yeah,
he's he kind of attacks the mascots. I don't think we have that.
Yeah,
I like Slamson in that matchup.
Yeah, I really do like Slamson.
Well,
you can't.
You can't risk Slamson being pushed around.
Right.
No.
Right.
He's an icon.
I don't care. I mean,
he'd have to wear a red jersey.
When are we putting the fur up in the rafters? We got to retire Slamson.
We do.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, we should. You're right.
Yes. Put him up
that guy
there with him in it. I'm not saying put the fur.
He's the best mascot in the league.
Yeah.
10 years running.
Do you remember when we may have talked about this when the Nuggets, and the guy was okay, so it's okay to laugh, I guess, when they brought down Rocky, their mascot, and they lowered him, and something happened, the guy blacked out, so they're lowering him, and here he is, Rocky, and he's just unconscious, and they're just lowering this lifeless little lion down on the floor, but it turned out he was okay.
It was okay. Hey, kids, he's okay.
You can find the video on YouTube.
All the kids
here he is, Rocky. And the
guy's like that.
Unconscious.
The mascot for the Timberwolves, I can't remember. Crunch.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
And was going to slide down the stairs.
Oh,
you know how that?
Slamson did that.
Yeah.
We've seen him do that.
Well, he did it successfully.
Oh, I was there. I watched.
Crunch got
lived up to his name.
Oh, he got crunched. Yeah, he's about halfway down, and thing got all discombobulated.
Oh, geez,
remember the old Wide World of Sports? Then the agony of defeat.
The thrill of victory. The agony of defeat.
That was the agony of crunch.
Yeah, I remember that because I tasted the agony of defeat way too many times.
Well,
Oh, there he is. Yeah, Stone's just there. He is, Rocky. He's got lowering his lifeless form.
Stone's is finding so much joy in Rocky's unconsciousness.
And then I think he finally gets the floor, and then they got to take the spotlight off him and all the medical personnel.
All of a sudden they show the light. Hey, look over there, the scoreboard.
He was okay. Yeah. That's why it's funny.
It's funny, Stones, because Rocky's fine. Well, Rocky later went to Minnesota to become Crunch.
That's like
medical personnel for Stones.
I think Rocky's better off than Stones.
Well, that's like Benny the Bull used to always come around like we'd be doing our opening, me and Grant, and he'd always come on to stick his.
Oh, sure.
He's Benny the Bull. Kind of funny. Yeah. But Grant, get out of here, get out of here, and he shoved him.
He didn't say anything mean to Benny, did he?
Yeah, he did. He just get out of here. I said, hey, just. It's Benny the Bull.
Hey, Benny knows you're going to do that. He's going to come back next time and do it again. He's never going to stop.
You can't. Benny the Bull. That's his spot.
That's his job.
Did you know that years ago the Giants had this crazy crab mascot?
Oh,
and they were playing the Padres one time, and 2 Padres beat the bejeebies out of the poor guy and injured him.
You mean Padre players?
Yes. And years later it came out that one of the Padre players was Bruce Bochy. Bochy, who would become the manager of the Giants and beat the bejeebies out of the crazy crab when he was the Giants mascot.
Is that better than Rocky Stones? Which one's better? Rocky, Bruce Bochy. Rocky still? Okay. Go ahead and play that video for yourself again. Well, keep yourself happy for the next 5 minutes.
Tommy Lasorda beat, the Philly Phantom.
Philly Fanatic.
Philly Fanatic.
Yes.
I love Tommy Lasorda.
I
remember being at Giants games and watching him walk across the field, and he knew what was going to happen, and he reveled in it. It was awesome.
Yeah. The Giants fan over there doesn't agree with you.
Hey, how about Rocky? Yeah.
Hey, rest in peace, Vita Blue, by the way.
Oh, my
gosh.
Great Vita Blue.
Absolutely.
Great player. Great
Absolutely. Guy. Going back in time here, very appropriate for the old-fashioned 3 as we head down the home stretch. This date, 1970, a day that we're at least live here. This date, 1970.
Yeah.
The New York Knicks, Game 7 against the Lakers, 113-99. The Knicks won their first championship in what has forever since been known as the Willis Reed game. Yep. Willis Reed, what do you have, a torn tendon or something in his knee and played anyway?
Hip.
That's right. Yeah. And he limps out there and everyone goes, comes out warms up, starts the game, hits the first 2 shots of the game.
He's on fire like D'Angelo Russell over there.
I don't believe he ever warmed up. He just came right off.
That's right. He came right out of the training table. Yeah,
so
makes the
don't
story
sell
better.
him short here.
He didn't go through a layup line with a bad hip.
Did you ever talk to him about that?
Oh yeah. I mean, he said he just said I'm going to play if I regardless, going to try. And so he I guess got a shot in his hip, and they said, well, see if you can do it. And so he come dragging it out there, and of course he was probably a little lucky as Wilt Chamberlain wasn't going to come out there and guard him. Had he come out there and really got him, he couldn't have got by him or anything.
Yeah.
So
he was in drop coverage.
Wilt knew that. He was being friendly. They were probably friends. Wilt didn't care that much.
2 for 2.
Yeah,
he comes out of the game.
And feed Willis. Oh, of course, on defense he was just a 0. So I mean, you got to get him out of there.
What was his plus minus?
Yeah, terrible.
I got to look up his plus.
Well, I mean, he couldn't guard anybody literally. So
well, they were at that time. They weren't even going to Wilt Chamberlain anyway for offense.
They wouldn't.
And so, but another interesting thing about that, like you pointed out, on this day, whatever years ago, is like that was the NBA Finals last game.
Right.
Yes, it was.
Game 7,
Yeah.
You're saying it was earlier in the year is what you're saying.
What I'm saying is now it drags on.
Right.
Now we're in the second round.
Basketball and hockey drag on.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Basically right to the time you go to summer league and then
and then baseball's going on all the time behind that, so we have 3 sports that go on all the time.
No, they're all, I mean, I guess I get it, but they all play too many games. Golf has too many tournaments. Hockey and basketball just go on forever. Baseball goes on forever, and
Walt Frazier, by the way, in that game had 36 points and 19 assists, but it was Willis Reed's 2 baskets.
It was. That keynoted the thing right at the beginning.
Nothing against Willis Reed. It was tremendous what he did.
It does illustrate how great
Walt was.
I
mean, he was the guy, and I remember him getting 2 steals on Jerry West, key steals, and he was just dominant. And Dave DeBusschere, I think, had 16 rebounds and 8. He outplayed Chamberlain.
Yeah.
6'6" guy played center because, there again, that's kind of been forgotten. It's like Will's hit 2 shots.
Yeah.
Will, what did he last? 4 minutes maybe?
Yeah,
so
4
the
5
other 44 minutes. Yeah, they had other guys that were doing pretty well.
They had the kind of. I mean, Willis, he never tries to give himself more credit for that. He just said, "Hey, I drugged myself out there and tried to do what I could do," and
it was like if Rocky the mascot had gotten to
Stones is still laughing,
and then if he'd gotten up and done a routine,
he's okay.
It was that miraculous.
Rocky's okay. Yeah.
Well, they should have just dropped Rocky and then drug him off, shouldn't they?
Should have sent him down with Crunch, let him go down the stairs. That would have been a lifeless body going down the stairs.
What are some other games that come to mind, guys playing when they were hurt? I'll tell you one that I'm a little fuzzy on the details, but it was the Lakers and the Pistons when Isaiah Thomas played that game with the terrible sprained ankle.
And
scored 41 or whatever. He just
in
went
the fourth
berserk.
quarter. He just went nuts or something.
Sprained ankle.
Yeah.
Or Isaiah Thomas, the Kings' Isaiah Thomas playing. Or you should have been.
Yeah.
Playing for the Celtics on a injured hip, and his sister killed and had 50-something against the Wizards in a closeout.
Yeah, that's right. That was just amazing.
Game,
yeah. Flu game, right?
Flu game. Oh, yeah.
Flu game.
Yeah. I think he's better with the flu. I think it was fine.
Yeah, flu game.
Yeah. I had to shoot every time I have the flu. That's all he had to do,
A lot of people think he got poisoned.
Well, I mean, Sacramento was poisoned people.
Kobe's
oh, that's right.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Room service cheeseburger game.
I hope that's true. Sorry, but I hope that's true.
Why would you hope that's true?
I don't know. It just shows that we're no Cowtown, baby.
Yeah.
Well, no.
I got you. Okay.
Hey,
it's a great story.
Yeah, it's a great story. We poisoned the guy. Okay, he still shot 48.
Well, I think he's just looking for an excuse. Come on, Kobe.
There you go.
Come on, Kobe.
All right. Any predictions on anything that's gonna go down here tonight in the series?
Lakers win Game 4.
Wow. Yeah, you did have the Lakers Friday.
Double down on that. I don't know that I expect D'Angelo to come out and do what he did, and they will. They do need somebody. Let me look at my sets because my guy Austin Reeves has not been good lately. He had his Jeremy Lin moment there, where it was all Reeves sanity, and then he has not really been that good lately.
No.
So we'll need somebody to come out.
It's a tough matchup if you're a Laker guard.
I know undrafted guy comes out. I know that, but I mean it's even before this series though. But I think Anthony Davis comes out and just beats the trend. Goes good 2 days in a row. I know that's a crazy one. I know that's crazy.
I do think they found a little something, and I was always amazed that Lonnie Walker wasn't playing more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seems like to me the guy can.
Yeah,
can
they
go
found
get
him in
baskets.
garbage time again, huh? Sometimes that happens. The guy comes down in garbage time, and all of a sudden you go, wait, that guy's okay. I'll put him in again a little earlier next time, and he comes out and plays better.
Well, just follow his career. I mean, I've always thought, when the Spurs, he's tough to guard. It's like one of those guys like, okay. Anyway, they're playing him now, and I think they should. And I think it's another guy that the Warriors have to worry about. You got Schroeder, good player, Hachimura.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Vanderbilt plays a big role. They're they went from being a real crappy team at trade
really
deadline
to
a very different team. And I'm kind of with Phantom here. I think the Lakers will get it.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. I know how much that pains him to say that.
Yeah.
It does. I truly
really hurts. I can tell.
I would love to see them both lose, but I would much prefer the Lakers lose.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So as you mentioned, on this day, 1970, the Knicks beat the Lakers. I don't think we're going to get the Knicks and the Lakers in the finals this year. That doesn't seem very likely.
I don't think so.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Sadly, it could. That's the strange part. No, I don't think it's going to happen, but.
Yeah, no,
Knock
I know.
My glasses off.
That's right. I got it for you.
With being very emotional thinking about it.
But understand your point.
Heat series,
it's so wide open this year.
It is. Yeah. I don't. Somebody's going to win. That's what I'm saying. Somebody's got to.
We're gonna close with that. I think that's
somebody's going to win.
I'm not going to step on that. No way.
We'll see you next time on the
No Harm, No Foul
3.
Thank you for joining the Old Fashioned 3 on Stones Radio Networks. To stay updated on the show, like and subscribe on YouTube, and all shows are available for download on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, and of course at stonesradionetworks.com. Follow the show and the gents on Twitter at OL, Fashion, and the number 3, at Phantom Radio 60, and at Whitey Gleason. This has been a production of Stones Radio Networks.